I bet. Welcome back to another episode of Toxiris Discovers. Today we got episode 20. Yeah, we already got 20 episodes of this shit, bro. But today with this special, with the top 5 best and worst albums we've had on this format so far. It's just some short information. I will not be mentioning whoever recommended the best or the worst albums, just because, especially for the worst albums, I don't want anybody to be embarrassed. I mean, whoever recommended it will probably remember it, so yeah. And I'm only picking albums that are community suggestions. I will not put any albums on this list, or on both of the lists, that I picked for myself, like I did in the early episodes back when nobody recommended shit. Y'all can recommend some new albums in the comments. I think there are still some free spots. Not many though, because already last week a couple people recommended, and if you recommended something last week, you cannot recommend another album this week, because they're both going into the same episode 21. Also, I will be trying to make some changes to the format, trying to make the quality a bit better. If y'all got some suggestions for that, let me know. Write some shit in the comments. And with that being said, let's get into the top 5 worst first. So, I will not be ranking these albums because they're all either very bad or very good, and ranking them would just be an unnecessary effort in my opinion. But I will be starting off the video with the most recent bad album, Paper Route Empire, Paper Route Illuminati, the infamous album on my channel that led to the title, I Fell Asleep. Yes, I fell asleep listening to this album because it's so long, so boring, and I can't stand it. Though, I think this is the best track on the album.
If I sacrifice myself, will I go to hell? In my trap house counting guala, talking to my...
Other than that, this track is enjoyable, but everything else is just boring as hell to me. I fell asleep. I think that speaks for itself. With that being said, let's get into the next project. That one being Pastel Flocco, Disturbing the Peace. I don't have to say a lot about this project. Everything this project is trash. Not because it's boring or too long or whatever. It is just annoying to me because the beats mostly are okay, but the rapper just doesn't manage to keep up the pace. He just goes either too fast, too slow. Like, he just doesn't give a shit, I guess. Anyway, this is a pretty solid track of the project.
Broke ass nigga told him get his drip up. Broke ass nigga told him get his chips up. Him Margaret looking for some more sauce. I got your trees finna get my sticks up.
But other than that, I dislike this album a lot. I think this is probably one of the worst ratings I've ever given. So, with that being said, let's get to the next one. That one being Dewob, Kane, After the Storm. Absolutely hate this project. I even dislike the cover art. It has one song that is pretty good. That's okay.
Spikes in it really would have been over, man. That wouldn't have been right. Going on the side of trucks, I was trying to get...
This is easily the best track, and it's nothing special or anything. It's just decent in my opinion. It's just annoying as hell to me. I don't know. I hate it with a passion. Then we got Iyas Demons. I still don't know how to say that damn name. Anyway, this project is probably the best on this list.
If you tryna ask, I let a car on me, I got so fast. Try to spin on me then.
I've heard this type of sound and executed exactly this way 50 million times before, and it's not even my favorite style. So I don't know, it's just way too standard and way too low effort in my opinion. With that being said, next project here, Gucci Mane, Trap-A-Thon, has one song that is actually very good, this one here.
She's a very freaky girl. Don't bring her to mama. First you get a night.
No. There's a reason why I dislike Gucci Mane so much. And I've heard people say that his old stuff is just better than his new stuff. This is pretty old and it's still fucking garbage. With all due respect, these were the top 5 worst projects on Toxiris Discovers so far. The next list we got, obviously, the top 5 best. Before we start that off, I got Lil Durk, Signed to the Streets, and Forever Heartless by Moneybagg Yo as some honorable mentions, because they would have almost made it onto the top 5 list, but they were kicked out by another project. But very good projects. If you haven't heard them, check them out. They're worth a listen. So the first one we got is The Blueprint 3 by Jay-Z. This might be one of the highest ratings I've given so far. I think I gave it a 9 or a 9.5. This is just packed with bangers and also banger features, honestly. Kid Cudi, J. Cole, Kane. That I needed from Jay-Z, and it's probably my favorite Jay-Z project. I've had 3 Jay-Z projects on this series so far. The Blueprint 1, all of them were fire. I chose to only pick this one because I don't want to have 3 albums from the same artist on the list, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorites. Probably one of my favorite albums of all time. I really enjoyed this. Then we got Young Thug, Slime Season 3. I love this one too, mostly for the energy, because it's just short, hype, packs exactly what it needs. Has tracks like this one, which is an absolute classic. And it's just absolutely fire. Probably my favorite Thugger project I've heard so far, given I haven't heard that many Thugger projects. Very good. Very good. If you haven't heard it yet, give it a listen. Then we got Whopped at 4,000, 1167 or 1167 Deluxe. I didn't expect to like this project as much because I think Whopped's voice can be pretty annoying sometimes. Still, this project was very good. Probably one of my favorites of 2021 so far. And it just has everything that it needs.
Big bust down, Hellcat to the race. Big mask on, no face, no case. Big black check back to back.
Catchy choruses, good verses, very good production from Illmind. I think some features would have been better because the features that are on besides Rick Ross and Buddy are just not that good to me. Still, very good project. It is not in this top 5 without a reason. Then we got probably the most recent one on this list, which is Maxwell Cream, Brandon Banks. First Maxwell Cream project I've heard. Obviously I've heard of Maxwell Cream before. I think this track is the best one, by the way.
I got homies in the grave, I got brothers in the pen, I got some that's coming home, I got some that's going.
And it's just absolutely fire. I think the Brenda's Got a Baby remix, reference, whatever you want to call it, is just great. I think overall the vibe of the project, the features, everything this album has is really good. And I was blown away when I heard this for the first time because I expected something good, but nothing this good. Well, then we get into the last project, which is probably my favorite from this series. It is Big L, The Big Picture. This has 2 of my favorite storytelling tracks of all time, The Heist and Casualties of a Dice Game.
After head crack, got my bread back, jumped in my red act. I'm waiting for my nigga to come out of the spot. I see niggas.
And it just packs banger after banger after banger. This is one of the best 90s hip-hop albums. I think it was released in 2000, but it was recorded in the 90s because unfortunately Big L passed away in the 90s. R.I.P. The track with Tupac is super hard. Everything it's great. It's probably my favorite album on this format all time. I love it. And yeah, with that being said, thank you all for 20 episodes, Toxiris Discovers. Thank you all for the support on this series and everything on my channel. I'll be trying to make better and more consistent videos because I've been lacking recently. And with that being said, thank y'all, love y'all, have a great one.
Remember back then, all them hoes ain't want me. Now I'm ballin', all them same hoes on me. Mama told me that this came with the money and the motherfucking fame. Even though I feel the same, I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now.